Most of the poor countries will have to wait for the vaccines even longer because the first production will go to richer countries like the UK and the US that have pre-booked it. Successful vaccines will have a greater price tag because of greater demands from many countries. For example, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine that the UK has approved for public use is more expensive than AstraZeneca because it's the first available vaccine. So even if the poorer countries want to have Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine that the UK has already approved for public use, they cannot afford it. Reports suggest that Pfizer-BioNTech's vaccine dose costs $15 while AstraZeneca's Oxford vaccine costs $4 per dose. And this has once again led to a debate about vaccine nationalism in the country. Richer countries pay huge amounts of money to buy the vaccine developing companies by signing pre-purchase agreements. This helps richer countries in combating any disease or pandemic, leaving citizens of poor countries scrambling. And now we know that the United Kingdom has already approved the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for public use, making Britain the first country to do so. The UK has stockpiled more vaccines to cover its population than almost any other country. So pre-booking of vaccines, greater cost, limited availability and delayed accessibility will make it worse for the world to fight this virus as a result of vaccine nationalism. So what is vaccine nationalism? When any country manages to successfully secure vaccine doses for its own citizens and residents on priority basis and makes the vaccine available in their own country before many other countries in the world and keeps stockpiling and hoarding more vaccines than what they actually need, it is called vaccine nationalism. When they stockpile more vaccines than they need, the poorer countries suffer. So there is no equal distribution. Let me give you one example. Richer countries like the US, UK, Japan, China, European Union and other rich countries have already spent billions of dollars on deals with vaccine frontrunner manufacturers like AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson and other companies. And they had done this even before the effectiveness of the vaccines have been proven. Reports suggest that countries like the US and UK have already booked more coronavirus vaccines for their citizens than what their populations actually need. Now, this could result in insufficient vaccines for other countries. Now let me tell you some hard facts. The United States has already signed multi-billion-dollar agreements with at least 6 big pharmaceutical companies for 800 million vaccine doses as per the Indian Express report. This signed vaccine dose agreement means it is more than 2 doses for every American citizen. So America will be the country to get more numbers of vaccines from these companies before anyone else whenever the vaccine is ready. The United Kingdom has too signed many agreements with several companies to secure around 340 million doses. The UK has already approved Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for public use and European Union has criticized this hasty approval for COVID-19 vaccine by the UK. The European Union's regulators have said that Pfizer-BioNTech's vaccine's longer evaluation process was safer. The US's leading infectious diseases expert, Anthony Fauci, said that the UK had rushed the approval. He further said that the vaccine was not reviewed carefully. European Union and several other countries across the world have such agreements for vaccine procurement. There is a huge level of pre-booking vaccines supplies even before their effectiveness is proven. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said, "We need to prevent vaccine nationalism. Sharing finite supplies strategically and globally is actually in each country's national interest." Why is vaccine nationalism a reason to worry? Increasing vaccine nationalism is a reason to worry because it won't be accessible to several poor countries that have no money and resources to pre-book the vaccine supplies without proven effectiveness. Has there been a case of vaccine nationalism earlier? In 2009, after an outbreak of H1N1 influenza or swine flu, most of the rich countries had pre-booked the vaccines and stored it. And this resulted in a crisis where countries in Africa had no access to these vaccines for many months. They got vaccines after much delay as compared to richer countries. The US and European countries released 10% of their stocks for other countries only after they were sure that they did not need the vaccine for themselves anymore. In 1992, some antiretroviral drugs developed for HIV patients' treatment were not made available for patients in the worst affected region such as Africa. So what's the solution? The World Health Organization has launched a platform called ACT, Access to COVID-19 Tools, Accelerator Program. The purpose of the program is to accelerate the development, production and equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines. The specific program about vaccines, the COVAX facility, focuses on investment in vaccines development. WHO has created this facility for every country to contribute and donate money to ensure that everyone gets the benefits. Is there any international law to stop vaccine nationalism? Interestingly, even though vaccine nationalism runs against global public health principles, there is no provisions in international laws that prevent pre-purchase agreements.